Hello traders, my name is Tomasz Wiśniewski. I'm a chief analyst in Alpari Research and Analysis, and this is daily analytical report. And during this 30 minutes, I will tell you what's happening on the market, and we will try to look for decent trading setups. Obviously, as always, before even thinking about trading, you should check the macro calendar to see what important events are published today. So you can see that Tuesday is all about the PMIs. We had PMIs from Germany already, which came worse than expected. PMIs from Eurozone also worse than expected. For manufacturing, they were better. For services, they were worse. Still to come, we do have PMIs from US, both manufacturing and services, and 1 hour 44 minutes. And overnight, remember that we'll have this pack of data from Australia and New Zealand. New Zealand from the job market. Australia CPI, so inflation. So if you're thinking about opening a position on a pair with Australian dollar or New Zealand dollar, remember that overnight we will have important events for those. Fundamentally, not much happened really. New Zealand dollar is going lower because of the potential reforms at the Reserve Bank of New Zealand. And apparently we had an important announcement rumor on Monday that Donald Trump is very close to make a decision about the future Fed chairman. And we don't know if that will be Janet Yellen or maybe Taylor or maybe Powell. But this information caused a spike on precious metals, for example. That's about it. In the States, the main topic are tax reforms by Donald Trump and Republicans. We do have also quite significant information for the oil. OPEC is thinking about extension of the oil production cuts until the end of 2018. Also, they started, well, that's positive, but also they started on working on a tapering style exit strategy, which, well, if it will be smart, it can be also perceived as a positive information. And well, actually, as you can see, not much is going on, and that's the reason why we didn't have huge movements on Monday, for example, just so. And well, the market is waiting. What the market is waiting for is Thursday, right? On Thursday we should get high volatility mostly due to the ECB. Everybody's waiting for the ECB now. Yeah, before that we shouldn't get any big movements on euro or on European stocks, for example. Yes, so that being said, let us move to the charts right now, and we will start with the Bitcoin, right? So the cryptocurrency. Bitcoin moved again below the support on $5,770, which is here marked with this gray color. That was the resistance. In the first half of October, in the middle of October, and then it became a support, And now after the breakout, it's a resistance again. And this movement, this comeback below this resistance, opens a way to the black support. This black support being a black uptrend line here. And we have a high chances that we'll get there. But the thing is that the long-term sentiment on Bitcoin is still positive, obviously. Even despite the fact that we went below here. Why is that? Because we are inside of the wedge. Those purple lines is that's the wedge. Wedge is a trend continuation pattern, so the price is going up, making higher highs and high lows, and most probably that will be continued. So with that support from this trend line, we should eventually break the upper line of the wedge and make new all-time highs. But that's interesting in terms of the cryptocurrencies, because rest of the, well, all those cryptocurrencies crashed in the beginning of September. Some of them lost like 70% of its value. Bitcoin recovered very fast. Bitcoin lost like 40%. But went to all-time highs afterwards. But other currencies, Litecoin, Ripple, Ethereum, they lost, and they cannot recover really after this massive drop. So Bitcoin is like in the best shape from those. Actually, we can have one more support. Yes, we are now bouncing from this one. And actually, I think it's a legitimate support. So that's the situation on Bitcoin. Next one will be American dollar to Canadian dollar. It's not a random place that we're stopping right now, because these are tops from the end of August. But overall, what's happening is the price had an occasion to go lower with this head and shoulder formation, right? But they failed. They failed to break the lower line of the formation, the neckline. They failed to break the horizontal support here. So, well, if the price does not want to go down, it will probably go up. That's what happened. So, well, with a little help from the fundamentals, because we got weaker data from Canada, retail sales and CPI. And that caused a reversal here. American dollar was stronger, so we broke first the upper line of the pennant, then the horizontal resistance here. We had a small correction, and now today we made new all-time not all-time, but new midterm highs, which is promising and actually proves the positive sentiment here. And there's still a positive sentiment on this instrument. It looks okay. It looks like this movement will be continued, at least to this resistance. This resistance seems important, 127.7. So to this area we still do have like 120 pips. Risk to reward ratio is not the best though, because here is like 60 pips from stop loss, and there is 120 pips. Okay, it's 2 to 1. It's not that bad. If you want to go like with a bit higher risk, you can place like stop loss here on 40, so it's 3 to 1. So it's not that bad. And now DAX. Oh, that's what we are expecting, really. Because I was telling about DAX on the Trading Sniper video, which I recorded like 1 hour ago. And the price was here. And on that video I said that there is a higher chance that the price will break the upper line of the upper line here. And eventually the price should break this upper line of the pennant. Why is that? Well, look at that. Look at the upswing from the beginning of September, from the end of that is a very strong upswing, and actually we didn't have a correction so far because that was a channel up formation, so we cannot name that a correction. Price was going higher, that's a sideways trend, and the only trend correction pattern which is present on this chart is this pennant. So it shows how strong are the buyers and how weak are the sellers. With this situation, the bullish breakout here seems more and more probable, right? Especially that we came back above this gray area, which for the past few days, several days, was both support and resistance respected by both sides, and we are back again above this area, which is a positive sign, and eventually the price should break the upper line of this pennant. Oil. Trading on oil is going as expected, right? So we're in the channel up formation. We are also most recently inside of the ascending triangle formation here. Lower blue line is the support of the triangle, upper red line is the resistance of the triangle. And with this formation inside of the channel up, we should get a breakout of the upper line of this. We should get a breakout of the red resistance here with a movement aiming gray area, and the gray area in this case are tops from the beginning of the year, right? We can see from December, September and February. So it all looks promising, it all looks technical, right? After the breakout here, the price should eventually go here, maybe test at the same time the long-term resistance, but also the upper line of the channel up formation. That would be pretty good if we would go there. Obviously with some corrections on the way, right? Euro to British pound. I wrote an analysis yesterday that with this setup, that's the perfect price action setup to go short, and that was for me was an excellent occasion to sell, if only I would look at this situation, right? But if we look on a daily chart, for example, that's not a good occasion to sell. Why is that? We stopped this correction, this bullish correction on 50% FIBO, right? But we were too close to the long-term uptrend line, and long-term uptrend line, well, that's a strong support. So you shouldn't go against that strong support being so close to it. Okay, that's just a trade with very poor risk to reward ratio, because selling here, you should get stop loss like, for example, here 130 and the potential target was 60. You should go for the opposite. For the target 130 and a stop loss 60. Even that wouldn't be enough. So yeah, only if we would consider this, that would be a nice sell option, but in the main uptrend that was a bit too risky. So we are again, this power of the uptrend line seems to work, and the price is reversing right now. Euro dollar is the next instrument. Still, well, I don't think, well, maybe we will have a proper movement before the ECB, but that will be hard. What do I mean by proper movement? I mean that currently we do have two opposite technical patterns. First, we'll start with the reversal pattern, with a bearish pattern. This is a head and shoulder pattern. Left shoulder, head, and right shoulder. It suggests us that the price should reverse, but the sell signal will be activated only when we will break 23.6 FIBO. In the same time, this Let's call it blue. This blue support. As long as we are above that blue support, that is a head and shoulder just in theory, and you shouldn't really go for it. Right? It's not like the best setup in the world right now. Because again, to go for the head and shoulder, to go short with the head and shoulder, you should wait for the breakout of the neckline. Second formation that I can see here is a flag. Flag is a trend continuation pattern, and flag is labeled here with those blue lines. There's an uptrend, long-term uptrend on euro dollar, as we know, and that just seems like a normal correction here. Actually, this setup is very, very interesting, and I would like to see where it will go. Most probably, price should wait till Thursday, and price will wait till Thursday to set the direction, and that can be a very good trading opportunity, right? To wait for Thursday, to wait for the breakout, and breakout should show you the next movement. That will be very interesting to see what will happen. So yeah, again here, buy signal after the breakout of the upper line of the flag and actually the yellow resistance, sell signal here. So now we wait. Australian dollar to New Zealand dollar finally reached this long-term resistance created by the I'm showing you by the lows from 2013, tops from 2014, 15 and 16. After breaking the upper line of the symmetric triangle formation, we finally reached that as expected, as we told you that will happen. Interestingly, we retraced like 23.6 Fibonacci. Now we can remove those Fibonaccis. After getting there, the price made a quite strong take profit action, but seems like it's not an end, and the price will go higher, right? Because we bounced here. There is a potential support here. Let's make it like that. As long as we stay above the green area, the sentiment is definitely positive. After the breakout of this blue resistance, well, I don't think that if we will have if the weekly candlestick will close above this resistance, that will just open the way to this horizontal resistance, which is 800 pips higher. So that possibly can trigger a very good long-term trading occasion, that breakout from the triangle. But again, it's a triangle on a weekly chart, so it usually triggers like a great trading occasions like this one. Triangle breakout here caused a huge downswing. Why breakout here cannot cause a huge upswing, right? That's how the price moves. Australian dollar to American dollar, they had a chance for this inverse head and shoulder formation, but again, that's what we tell always, that head and shoulder formation is a great pattern when we have a breakout. Here we didn't have a breakout, we marked that as price here would trigger a buy signal. Price did not get there and it went lower, and actually now they should test the long-term horizontal support for the second time, and that will be interesting, especially that on a daily chart, instead of this inverse head and shoulder formation here that we are talking about, we are having a head and shoulder formation. Unfortunately, in head and shoulder formation, the best would be if the line would be inclined, not declined, but well, we have to trade what it is. Well, I think that just breakout of the orange support will be significant enough to go short. Dollar index. Inverse head and shoulder formation, left shoulder head and right shoulder, but interestingly, well, we do know that dollar index is like 70% of euro, so it shouldn't be a surprise for you if you on euro dollar you see head and shoulder formation, and on dollar index you have inverse head and shoulder formation. And well, what's the best part is that here we also can do both. So we have a wedge which suggests us that the price should go lower, so dollar should be weaker. And here we do have this flag which suggests us that the dollar will be weaker, right? So we do have a reversal pattern and continuation pattern on both instruments. And here also we wait for the breakout still. Breakout of the orange resistance should trigger a buy signal. Breakout of the yellow support should trigger a sell signal. Actually, you can move it here, but I would wait for to be more safe. I would wait for the breakout of the yellow line. A bit of choppy trading on silver, but anyway, we are inside of the wedge, which should really result with an upswing. But here we also do have those two options. So breakout of the gray support, which was ultra important for the past few weeks, should trigger a sell signal, and a breakout of this 23.6 should trigger a buy signal. And actually we have this one, we should come back to the long-term uptrend. So far we are inside of the pattern, so the chances are more or less even. And gold. Gold is also inside of this this pattern, but well, the technical situation is not so good as on silver. We are aiming at this combination of three Fibos. Well, we bounced from the combination of three Fibos here. We are aiming the combination of three Fibos again. Where it can happen? Well, that will be a very important support. Look at that. Support from here and from here, right? And also long-term uptrend line. So here we'll see the situation of the gold. Also, not to mention the long-term support here. So yeah, that's like a ultra important support for gold. I'm wondering what will happen here. Any V-shape retracement, bullish engulfing, hammer on a weekly chart, that should be a very, very important buy signal on this instrument. Well, as well, a breakout here, bearish breakout, can be very dangerous at the same time. So it can go both ways, right? And breakout here actually can trigger a long-term sell signal. Euro to Japanese yen. After bouncing off the recent resistance here, we have a confirmation of the buy signal, as we mentioned, by the way. The price is coming back to an uptrend, and new higher highs are more probable. Next one is cable. That's actually a sideways trend, as you can see, for the past few days. Not very interesting. Well, with the price that today is just confirmed this resistance, this blue resistance is a strong one. There is this support which can be actually tested now. I don't think that this can stop this downswing here. We will see, but for me there is no signal on cable. Cable is a bit boring right now, unfortunately. The same goes with all the pairs, actually, with British pound, not only cable. So British pound to American dollar, British pound to Australian dollar, yeah, the same thing. American dollar to Swiss franc actually is making a milestone here, I guess. What's happening here is this double bottom reversal. We broke 38.2, we broke the trend line, and now we are breaking this horizontal resistance created by those two lows. And actually the price closing a day above the gray area should be a buy signal here on American dollar to Swiss franc. Next one is American dollar to Russian ruble. From a bigger flag, downswing, smaller flag, well, we should see a downswing. But the thing is, it's very similar to euro to British pound because, well, we should see a downswing, but we are so close to the main uptrend line that from the risk to reward ratio point of view, that's not actually the best trade on the market, right? It potentially can result with a nice downswing, but the support, the closest support is too close, right? The potential aim for the price, the potential place where the take profit action can happen is too close. Here, no position, American dollar to Mexican peso. Finally, we reached that resistance. I was a bit disappointed here when the price reversed here, but yes, thank you very much, price, for doing that. Why? Because this blue area is 38.2 Fibonacci, is a resistance here, and actually I would love to see, what I would love to see is a double top formation here. Let me see the daily chart. Yes, that would be very nice if the price bounced from here with a shooting star. That would be a double top on 38.2. From the price action point of view, a very strong trading setup. So I'll do my best to stay late and see how this situation will develop. Because daily candlestick at the end should trigger us a sell signal on this instrument with a potential target of this here. So from here the price can go here. Yes, that's one of the best setups I can see at the moment. But again, there is a potential for a shooting star, but there is no shooting star yet. Remember, right? For the trading signal, we have to wait for the candlestick to close. S&P 500, not much to say. Upswing, buy signal, and that's it. And New Zealand dollar, Singaporean dollar breaks this long-term support. That's interesting. The downfall is so strong. Breaks this horizontal support, and actually the next one is here. It's hard to imagine that the price will fall straight away because, you know, it didn't happen before. Maybe here. Yes, all right. That's actually an interesting risk to reward ratio. Okay. Here, stop loss 120 pips. Take profit 280. Okay, it's alright. It's not the best risk to reward ratio in the world, but it is alright. New Zealand dollar, that's New Zealand dollar to Singaporean dollar. Let me just see the swaps. Yeah, unfortunately for a short position, you get negative swaps like, so yeah, not good opportunity if you want to hold this position like for a few weeks or months, because it can, your swap points can hurt you. So yeah, this one, American dollar to Mexican peso, is number one for me, but I need to see the shooting star at the end of the day. There is potentially a shooting star, but there is no shooting star yet. Okay, my friends, thanks very much for watching Daily Analytical Report. We publish more analysis and setups on our website or our Twitter account, so make sure you're gonna visit those. Thanks very much, and see you in half an hour on our educational webinar. See you there.